Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Ever since the president got elected, he has been on a quest to make the role of Attorney General, the people's lawyer, his personal lawyer. It is what prompted him to ask, where is my Roy Cohn? Roy Cohn, of course, was Senator Joseph McCarthy's witch-hunting lawyer. He went on to be a consigliere for the New York mob. He was also a lawyer and mentor to one Donald Trump. And for Donald Trump, Cohn represented the perfect lawyer. It appears that in the president's infamous phone call with Ukraine's president, he has not one but two Roy Cohns. On multiple occasions, Trump tells the Ukrainian president to expect a call from those two people. One of them is the current attorney general, the top law enforcement officer in the United States. That's William Barr. And one of them is Trump's private attorney, Rudy Giuliani. I quote from the call notes here, "I will have Mr. Giuliani give you a call, and I'm also going to have Attorney General Barr call, and we will get to the bottom of it. And I will tell Rudy and Attorney General Barr to call." Now, Rudy Giuliani is Trump's private attorney, but in a kind of dubious metaphysical way. The president is not paying Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani is the president's private attorney because Giuliani calls himself that. There is no formal relationship that we know of. Giuliani, important to note, doesn't do any actual legal work for the president, as far as we can tell. I mean, President Trump is currently engaged in like a million different lawsuits, and Rudy Giuliani is not named on one of those briefs. There are people, professional lawyers, who are barred in whatever state they're practicing in, who go into court week after week and they file briefs and they argue before judges on behalf of the president. But that is not what Giuliani is doing. No, he is playing the role that Michael Cohen once played. He is Trump's fixer and his bagman, but for free. And that is why Giuliani is at the center of this whole thing. He was running point on the Trump scheme to extort Ukraine and get them to dig up and manufacture dirt on the president's political rival. If there are two themes that constantly come through in every single impeachment investigation transcript that we get, it's number one, there was a sprawling, energetically corrupt attempt at extorting Ukraine, and two, Rudy Giuliani was running that corrupt extortion attempt. Today, we got our latest example of that in the release of the deposition transcript of the Deputy Assistant Secretary George Kent from the Department of State. I read from that, Mr. Giuliani had been carrying on a campaign for several months full of lies and incorrect information about the U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Ambassador Yovanovitch. It was clear the former mayor had influence on the president in terms of the way the president thought of Ukraine. Now, Rudy Giuliani was and is up to his eyeballs in this Ukraine scheme. It has since been reported by multiple news outlets that Rudy Giuliani is also under federal investigation in the Southern District of New York for his activities in Ukraine. Yesterday, Giuliani tweeted he'd hire a lawyer, as anyone under investigation should. The interesting twist is that Rudy's new lawyer, a guy named Robert Costello, is also the guy who represents Trump's old personal lawyer / fixer, Michael Cohen. Costello is the guy who reportedly told Cohen after speaking with Rudy Giuliani he was confident Cohen could, quote, sleep well tonight because he had friends in high places. Of course, Michael Cohen is now in prison after pleading guilty to crimes he committed on behalf of Donald Trump, which is why Trump needed a new fixer in the first place. But that keeps making me wonder. Remember, the president names two people in the call notes, right? So we know what Giuliani was up to because almost all the people he was interfacing with have been testifying about his corrupt behavior. But what about the other guy? What was Attorney General William Barr up to? Did the president just throw Barr's name out to the Ukrainian president without discussing it with him first? Is there anyone at the Department of Justice who has taken the kinds of steps that those in the State Department were forced into taking contemporaneous notes and raising red flags about inappropriate behavior? Those are open questions. We have had a succession of people in the foreign policy apparatus who have testified, but no one yet from the Justice Department. We do know that William Barr has generally viewed his role as Attorney General to be that of personally defending and protecting the president politically. Remember, he spun the Mueller report for Trump. He went out and held a presser announcing there was no obstruction, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. His own DOJ shut down the criminal analysis of the Ukraine call notes and refused to look at any of the other surrounding contextual evidence. They put out a statement to defend the president. But there is one thing Attorney General William Barr would not do, and that is go out in public, in front of the TV cameras, and defend Trump. The Washington Post reporting last night in the middle of our show that Trump wanted Barr to hold news conference saying the president broke no laws in the call with the president of Ukraine, and Barr refused. I don't know why, but one idea might be because part of that would mean Barr would have to take live questions from reporters about his role in the whole Ukraine extortion scheme. Because the thing about the Ukrainian call notes is Barr is mentioned by President Trump a few more key times. Quote, I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people. And significantly, quote, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, so whatever you can do with the Attorney General, that would be great. So did William Barr follow up on that? Did he ever speak to the Ukrainian president or his people about Joe Biden's son? As far as I know, since we got the call notes, William Barr hasn't answered in real time a single question from a reporter about what he was doing around that call and mentioned in that call. So why is he mentioned there? Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.